Let's talk about Xbox Series hardware accelerated VRS, variable rate shading. Is it any good? Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I would like to talk about VRS, variable rate shading, especially Dead Space remake implementation of this technology, because there's been quite a lot of criticism towards this game, towards this particular implementation in that game, because it degrades graphics quality basically, right? Well, some parts of it at least. Now that's kind of normal because VRS is actually that. I mean, the purpose of VRS is to degrade some parts of the graphics in order to boost performance, but obviously good implementation of that technology should only degrade parts of the game that are not really visible with for gamers, right? Like, so for example, you are looking at some a little bit of our gameplay from Dead Space, right? And let's just pause for a minute here, and you can see like you don't really see the ceiling on the left side of the screen, right? Because it's all black, right? There's no light there. So obviously, normally without VRS, the game would render that scene, even that ceiling that you don't see at full capacity, full detail, but you don't see it, right? So why waste resources for rendering that ceiling at full texture quality if you don't see it anyway? So the main purpose of VRS is to downgrade the quality of that ceiling because you don't see it anyway, right? That's the proper implementation of VRS. Now the problem is when developers or like game engine starts using VRS in a parts of the game which you can actually see. And that's the problem with this particular implementation in that game, is that for whatever reason, there's parts of the game that you still see, like the walls, because there's some light being bounced off the wall and stuff, and you see it. So that kind of that's where VRS should not be not necessarily implemented, but that these particular walls or parts of or objects should not be downgraded when they are clearly visible to the gamer, right? And I think it's more about because I've seen some people already saying that, oh, VRS is crap, like it makes no sense because it just makes my game look worse. Now I understand it, and like I said before, that's the sole purpose of this technology, to save performance really, and obviously thanks to that you can have better running game. But like I said, VRS should be used only in parts of the game which there's no light, right? Like literally like walls or objects in the room that are not lit. So you don't see them, or you barely see them, and you don't see all the details anyway, right? So I think the problem with this game in particular is that this is just not necessarily the best implementation of this technology, right? And by the way, even though Xbox do have hardware accelerated support for VRS, PlayStation 5 basically only can use software implementation, which is a bit slower and stuff. Now, it looks like in this particular case, they are using, I'm not really sure. I mean, on PlayStation 5, they are using software implementation. And I think that's one of the reasons why, maybe, I'm just guessing here, but there is this case where PlayStation 5 VRS is actually too aggressive. On Xbox, it's not as aggressive as on PlayStation 5, but still the downgrade is there. So, like literally when it comes to that particular game on all consoles, developers, in my opinion, should actually optimize VRS use a little bit, and basically that it should not be as aggressive as it is. Now, it may be working faster on Xbox, maybe that's why it's actually I guess more selective, or I don't know. Apparently on Xbox, VRS is actually better, so it's not downgrading these textures as much. But on PC, it's still the case there as well. Now, like I said, there's been also a lot of games that run and look much better with VRS. Remember Gears 5, for example, guys? Xbox Series version actually do have VRS, and this is actually one of the best looking games on Xbox. Also, I've got some kind of interesting screenshots here. This is actually from a screenshot from Alpha Protocol demo. It's a technical demo made on Unreal Engine 5. So they are using similar technologies as with Gears, because this particular demo was made by the Coalition, so masters of Unreal Engine 5 really. And on Xbox Series X, they also use nanite here and stuff. And you can kind of see the actual image on the right, top right, and down in the, just below, you've got these kind of a shading rate legend, and everything that is green is actually of the lowest quality. And it kind of makes sense that if you actually compare that map with the actual image, you can clearly see that all the very dark places are actually rendered in the lowest quality, because you don't really see any details there anyway, right? While everything in yellow or red is really literally the best quality and stuff. And if you actually watch the Alpha Point demo, which is on YouTube, of course, and stuff. It's fully optimized for Series S and X and stuff. You're not really going to see it. You won't be able to tell whether VRS is being used there, because the quality is just top notch, right? But Coalition really made sure that they are using VRS in a proper way, all right? And going back to Dead Space, it looks like developers just overdid it, right? If you know what I mean. They just went too aggressive with VRS, and VRS is actually downgrading the quality of textures that are quite visible, for gamers and stuff, which are properly lit when it comes to actually a lighting engine and stuff. So I think what I'm trying to say here, it's not a problem with technology per se. VRS actually does what it does in this game, downgrades the quality of assets, of textures, but it should only do that to textures, objects which are not visible, right? So we're talking about very dark scene. And listen, Dark Space is actually a perfect game to use VRS, because there's a lot of dark corners, dark corridors, and that kind of stuff, right? But it looks like EA Motive just needs to spend more time optimizing this particular technology on all platforms. And I'm not talking about Xbox in particular here, really, because the implementations may be different. I don't know. Looks like on Xbox it's not as aggressive as on PlayStation, but they still need to fix it either way. But you know what? I've been playing this game for maybe an hour, maybe two already, and you know what? It's not really that bad, to be honest with you. It's not game looks like crap. And you know how Twitter and some of these sites work, they are looking for something sensational, if you know what I mean. So it's not really that bad. Yes, there needs to be some extra optimization and some fixes and some. I've seen some weird artifacts in this game too, so hopefully all this will be ironed out. But when it comes to actually VRS, it's a very clever technology, but in my opinion it's just a matter of game developers, they just need to really optimize it better. And it's still quite new, and I think that developers are still learning how to use it and stuff, so we'll see how that goes. I'm sure that we will actually hear about VRS way more, because it's one of these clever technologies that allows developers to actually save some performance save some resources and gain some extra performance to put in use in some other areas, if you know what I mean, right? So guys, that's the video. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for support. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care.